Hi, I'm Chloe. I've been working at Meridian Marketing for 5 years now, climbing my way up from entry level copywriter to senior campaign manager. It's a decent job with decent pay, and I actually enjoy most of it, except for the times when my mother in law decides to make my life a living hell. Are you seriously wearing that to the family dinner? Jake asked, eyebrows raised as I slipped on my favorite black dress. What's wrong with it? Your mom said smart casual. Nothing's wrong with it. You look amazing. I just know how Diana gets about, well, everything. I rolled my eyes, already dreading tonight. I'm not changing again. Last time I wore a pantsuit, she said I was trying too hard to be masculine. Jake and I met during college and got married 3 years ago. At first, his parents seemed great. His dad, Robert, is this chill retired engineer who loves baseball and grilling, while Diana played the part of the doting mother in law. The first red flag appeared 6 months into our marriage when Diana showed up unannounced at our apartment with paint swatches. This beige is all wrong for your living room, dear. It makes everything look cheap. We like the beige, Diana. We picked it together. Well, Jake always preferred blue growing up. I'm sure he just agreed to make you happy. Things got worse at Robert's 60th birthday party when she cornered me by the punch bowl. So, when are you two planning on starting a family? We're focusing on our careers right now. Jake always wanted children early. He was so good with his little cousins. We've discussed it, Diana. We're waiting. Last week, Diana asked me to meet for coffee. I thought maybe she wanted to clear the air. Chloe, I think we need to have an honest conversation. I stirred my latte nervously. Okay. I've given this a lot of thought, and I believe you should divorce Jake. I nearly choked. Excuse me? It's obvious you two want different things. Jake needs someone more traditional, family-oriented. Have you asked Jake if he's unhappy? A mother knows. He's too kind to admit it, but I see the disappointment in his eyes. Diana, with all due respect, our marriage is none of your business. Her eyes narrowed. Everything about my son is my business. He deserves better than some career-obsessed woman who can't even cook a proper pot roast. When I told Jake that night, he was furious and called her immediately, putting her on speaker. Mom, did you tell Chloe to divorce me? I was just looking out for you, sweetie. You know how much I love you. That's completely unacceptable. You need to apologize. For what? For wanting the best for my son? That woman is dragging you down, Jake. Little did I know that this was just the beginning of Diana's campaign against me. Jake hung up the phone, his face flushed with anger. I can't believe her. I'm so sorry, Chloe. It's not your fault your mom's crazy. I rubbed my temples, feeling a headache coming on. For the next week, Diana bombarded Jake with texts and calls, sending him articles about signs your marriage is failing. She even showed up at our apartment one night with a casserole and her friend's daughter, Tiffany. Tiffany just broke up with her boyfriend, Diana announced, making herself comfortable on our couch. Such a shame. She's such a wonderful cook and loves children. That's nice, Mom. Chloe and I were actually about to head out for dinner. But I brought lasagna. Tiffany helped make it. Didn't you, dear? It was fun. I love cooking for families. It's like practice, for when I have my own someday. I nearly gagged on my water. The next morning at work, I was called into my boss's office. Mr. Parker sat behind his desk, his expression grave. Chloe, please sit down. I received a concerning phone call yesterday. Someone reported seeing you take company property home. My stomach dropped. What? That's ridiculous. They claimed you've been stealing office supplies and client gifts for months. They were very specific, mentioning the Rolex watch we received from the Thompson account. The watch that disappeared last month? I had nothing to do with that. The caller identified herself as a concerned colleague, but refused to give her name. A chill ran down my spine. Did this caller happen to sound like an older woman? Maybe in her 60s? Mr. Parker looked surprised. Yes, actually. How did you know? Because it's my mother-in-law. She asked me to divorce her son last week, and now she's trying to get me fired. Protocol requires an investigation. I've already informed HR and security. They'll be reviewing camera footage and conducting interviews. So, I'm what, suspended? For now, yes. With pay until we conclude the investigation. I walked out of his office in a daze. My friend Denise from accounting caught up with me at the elevator. What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost. Someone accused me of stealing from the company. I'm suspended pending investigation. What? That's insane. Who would say that? My mother-in-law. She's trying to ruin my life because I won't divorce Jake. That night, I told Jake everything. He was livid. This has gone too far. She's trying to destroy your career now? I'm calling the police. Wait, we need evidence first. My word against hers won't be enough. Jake called his father immediately. Dad, has Mom ever tried to sabotage anyone else's career? Robert's silence spoke volumes. Dad? There was Jake's high school girlfriend, Melissa. Your mother called her dance school and said she had a drug problem. Then there was my assistant, Patricia. Your mother thought we were too friendly. She sent anonymous emails to my boss. Jesus, Dad, why didn't you ever tell me? I hoped she'd change. I'm so sorry, son. I grabbed the phone. Robert, I need your help. Diana's accused me of stealing from my company. I could lose my job, maybe even face criminal charges. I'll help however I can, Chloe. This has gone on long enough. The next morning, Robert showed up at our apartment with a thick folder. I've been documenting your mother's episodes for years, he said, handing the folder to Jake. I never thought I'd need to use it. Holy crap, Dad! Jake flipped through pages of handwritten notes, emails, and photos. This is like a psycho dossier. Why did you stay with her all these years? I asked, scanning a particularly disturbing note about Diana slashing a neighbor's tires for parking in her spot. Robert sighed. Love makes you blind sometimes. After Jake was born, something changed. She became obsessively protective. I spent the morning calling HR, explaining my suspicions. Vanessa, the head of HR, was surprisingly receptive. Actually, Chloe, the security team has already reviewed the footage from the day the Rolex disappeared. You weren't even in the office. You were at the Belmont client meeting across town. Can you tell me anything about the call? What number it came from? You know I can't share that, but... She lowered her voice. If someone were to check the visitor log from last Tuesday, they might notice something interesting. I checked the visitor management system. Sure enough, Diana Wilson had signed in last Tuesday, claiming she was delivering lunch to her daughter-in-law. I called Jake immediately. Your mom visited my office last week. She must have been scoping the place out. That proves she was there, but not that she made the accusation. The Thompson account, the one with the missing Rolex. The contact person is Carol Thompson. Isn't she in your mom's bridge club? 20 minutes later, Jake called back. Carol said Mom asked her about me, about our marriage. She told Carol I was miserable but trapped with a wife who was stealing from her own company. Did she specifically mention the Rolex? Better, Carol recorded the conversation. Later, we met Carol at a coffee shop. She looked nervous, glancing around as if expecting Diana to pop out from behind a plant. I feel terrible about this. She slid her phone across the table. Diana's been my friend for years, but what she's doing to you two isn't right. I pressed play. Diana's voice filled my ears. Poor Jake is stuck with this gold digger. She's even stealing from her company. I heard she took an expensive watch meant for a client. Someone should really report her. Diana, that's a serious accusation. Do you have proof? I don't need proof. I know she's doing it. Someone needs to stop her before she ruins my son's life completely. There's more, Carol said. Diana has been trying to sabotage you for months. She told the other ladies at Bridge Club that you're having an affair with your boss. What? She showed us fake texts she claimed were between you two. Armed with Carol's recording and Robert's documentation, I contacted Mr. Parker and Vanessa, requesting an emergency meeting. The accusation came from my mother-in-law, I explained, playing Carol's recording. This is highly inappropriate. We'll dismiss the investigation immediately, Mr. Parker said. There's something else, Vanessa said. The security team found footage of someone placing that Rolex in Terry's desk drawer last month. We couldn't see their face clearly, but it was definitely a woman in her 60s. My mother, Jake said flatly. We need to make a plan, I said. This can't happen again. We're going to need a formal statement from you, Mr. Parker said, closing his notebook. The company takes false accusations very seriously. What exactly does that mean? Jake asked. It means your mother could be facing legal consequences, Vanessa explained. Defamation, filing a false report, potential harassment charges. 2 days later, I was officially cleared of all accusations. Mr. Parker called me into his office, where the CEO, Sharon Matthews, was waiting. Chloe, I want to personally apologize for what you've been through, Sharon said. Your professionalism throughout this ordeal has been remarkable. Thank you. I just wanted the truth to come out. The security footage clearly shows your mother-in-law planting the watch in Terry's desk. We've already contacted the police. My stomach dropped. The police? This is a serious crime. She deliberately tried to frame an employee and stole company property to do it. When I got home, Jake was on the phone with his father. They're going to arrest her? Jesus Christ, he hung up, looking pale. Mom's being charged with filing a false police report. Apparently, she didn't just call the company. She went to the actual police claiming you were stealing from work. The next morning, my phone blew up with notifications. Someone had posted about Diana's arrest in the neighborhood Facebook group. Former victims of her schemes were coming out of the woodwork. Have you seen this? Jake showed me his phone. My high school girlfriend, Melissa, posted about Mom calling her dance school. And my college roommate, Derek? Apparently, Mom told his grad school he had a drinking problem. Later that day, Sharon called me directly. Chloe, we've been impressed with how you've handled this situation. The Thompson account has specifically requested you take over as their main contact. I appreciate that. There's more. The senior marketing director position is opening next month. I'd like you to apply. The doorbell rang. Robert stood there, looking exhausted. Diana's case has been processed. She's facing a fine and probation, but no jail time since it's a first offense. How is she taking it? Not well. She's been calling me nonstop, demanding I fix it. I told her I couldn't this time. You're not going back to her, are you? No. I've filed for divorce. 40 years is enough. I should have done this decades ago. That evening, my phone rang. Diana. Against my better judgment, I answered. This is all your fault, she hissed. You've turned my family against me. No, Diana. Your actions did that. If you think this is over, you're wrong. I'll make you pay for— This call is being recorded, I interrupted. And I have you on speaker with witnesses. Would you like to continue threatening me? Silence, then a click as she hung up. 2 weeks later, Diana moved to Florida to live with her sister. The community had essentially shunned her. Her friends, her church, even her hairdresser refused to see her. Do you think we'll ever hear from her again? I asked Jake as we celebrated my promotion with Robert. Maybe in a few years when reality sets in, but it doesn't matter. We're done letting her control our lives. Robert raised his glass. To fresh starts, and to finally having the courage to stand up for what's right. The story has ended. What would you do if someone tried to destroy your career with false accusations? Fight back like Chloe did, or take the high road and walk away? Have you ever had to deal with a toxic in-law or family member who couldn't respect boundaries? Share your experience in the comments. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more dramatic storytelling every week. Your support helps this channel grow.